trying to brag, but
Hey man, getting a little fancy, huh?
that's right. That's right. It's a big day. It's a big day.
It's a big moment, man.
It is.
Podcast, dude.
I've never been in this seat, so
Really?
This is awesome.
Dude, well, I'm glad that you've came on today. Yeah. So welcome.
Are we starting? Are we
Should we start?
Yeah, I'm in.
Are you down?
I'm in.
So we just roll with it?
Let's do it.
I think we're rolling, man.
All right.
Jared Long, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Thanks for being here, man.
You have a soundboard?
Oh, yeah, we got some sound bites.
Oh, my gosh. This does feel like Kill Tony. This is awesome.
Hey,
You're
man.
doing this during the show, right?
Well, I will be a little bit.
Okay.
So I can go back in and do some edits later, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it helps out on the post-edit that
It
you've
does.
got a lot of it done.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Now, I'll just let it roll most of the time.
Okay.
But now, I've done that before, like live streamed the podcast like this, and I've done it. Like
You guys did that at Little Nashville, didn't you?
We did a little Nashville recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, podcast with Aaron Smith,
That's
the
right.
owner up there, and
Small town, big business.
small town, big business.
Big fan.
Big
fan
shout
of your
out.
work.
Oh,
Big
thanks,
fan of
man.
your work. I've been following it for years.
Really?
I have.
Oh man, that's cool.
I have.
I appreciate that, man.
No, it's awesome, dude. And we've talked about this before, but podcasting is just such a cool topic.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yep. You're killing it. You're killing the game right now, man. You're an inspiration.
Well, dude, you've been a great new person that I've met recently. And I've been seeing, first saw your videos online with So Ill Cinema.
That's right.
So that's a really cool thing, man. You've been crushing it with the drone footage, with the tourism stuff, the Airbnbs. This guy knows all the cool hiking spots, you're all over Southern Illinois, man.
Dude, I fell in love, and I'm just exploring. I've met amazing people along the way who have showed me those awesome spots. I always, if I get an opportunity to shout out Hiking with Sean, I will always do that because I watched his trail guides before I ever felt comfortable actually going out to the trails and stuff like that. So I think he's an awesome resource. But there's, in hiking and video, there's so many people that are doing so many different things that it's hard not to be inspired by some of the people that are down here, yourself included. So.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And how cool is that? Like being inspired by Hiking with Sean. Because if you haven't seen Hiking with Sean, you need to YouTube it. Stop this.
Doing?
Go watch it now. Come back to this later.
Yes. Stop what you're doing. Stop listening to us.
But really cool that you were inspired by him, watching videos, and then now doing videos yourself. And I know you guys have been in talks, and we'll get more into some more of these details of how you got here on what's in the horizon, because I know you've been a busy guy.
I have been keeping myself busy, man. But it's all good stuff, man.
So
it's fun.
Just take me back. Where should we start, man?
Yeah. Well, not to get too deep, or else we could be here for hours.
Sure, man. No.
I came down to Southern Illinois to be closer to my daughter. I have a 5-year-old daughter down here, and so I didn't know a lot about Southern Illinois before I came down here. I really, knowing what I know now about Southern Illinois, I didn't know anything about Southern Illinois before I moved down here. And I kind of came begrudgingly. I didn't want to come down here. I didn't know how beautiful it was. And then COVID happened, like as soon as I moved down here. So I was like, I'm going to go nuts if I stay in my apartment every day. I got to get out. And so they had just started lifting some bans and stuff like that. And it was kind of like, it was very early on, but it was kind of a gray area with the state parks and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm just going to go out there and check it out. And there was never anybody out there. And one day I happened to have a drone from work with me. And I think it was like 2020 or something like that. So yeah, it was still, COVID was still very much a thing. It's still pretty heavy, but because there's nobody out there, I was like, I'll just try the drone, man, and see what Garden of the God looks like from a drone's perspective, just for fun. And then I got home and I'm like, well, this would be a lot cooler if I put music to it. And at the time, COVID had jacked up my sleep schedule, my routine so much that I was staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning watching YouTube videos, just scrolling mindlessly. And I was like, well, what if I took these videos and I was watching stuff that helped me be a better drone pilot, helped me be a better video editor. And there's so many, you probably know, so many free resources out there that you can watch. There's Peter McKinnon, Matty Hipposia. I was watching Full-Time Filmmakers, and all of those guys have free content they have out there that, like, it's on us if we're not becoming better video editors and better videographers, because there's so much free content out there that can get you so far. I mean, it can get you to a very professional level in a very short amount of time if you take it seriously. And so I did. During COVID, I was like, I'm going to lean into this. It was almost probably financially irresponsible for me to buy the first drone that I bought, but I was like, I'm going to make this worth it. I'm at least going to pay back what I spent on the drone. And obviously, fast forward a couple of years now, and I've paid for quite a few drones over, between wedding videographies and working with some small businesses and stuff like that. And now starting to work. I got a project coming up with, like, the city of Carbondale, and
okay,
yeah, yep.
Nice,
So
man.
it's getting some more and more publicity and stuff like that. And my goal all along was to show people back in Central Illinois how cool it was down here, because I'm from Central Illinois, from a little town just 20 miles north of Springfield called Petersburg, which is an incredible area full of rich history. But that's kind of what we have. It's a river town as well too, and they have New Salem, which is an old historic village that Abraham Lincoln spent some of his college years, and it's awesome. They do some really cool stuff during the summer, but it's not Southern Illinois, man. And that's when I talk about Southern Illinois, I always say I wish I had some of my friends and family from up north, but I would want them with the view down here. It's so beautiful down here, more beautiful than any place that I've ever lived in my life. Which is funny because there's so many people that are from here that have no idea how beautiful the state parks are. They're always like, where can we go for vacation? Where, and I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? You're asking, you're wanting to spend thousands of dollars and go somewhere, and you haven't even been to Bellsmith Springs yet. It's
right in their
like,
backyard,
dude. And it's free. You can go out there and you can picnic, you can go swimming, you can go for a hike. It's just in Bellsmith Springs, and yeah. Sorry.
Beautiful nature. I mean, there's so many amazing things Southern Illinois
get me
has
started,
to offer,
yeah.
man.
Yep.
But it sounds like, it started, during that COVID time, like so many people at home not knowing what to do with, all the time that we had on our hands. And kudos to you, man, for saying, hey, I want to learn something. I want to do something different now. I want to learn more.
Yeah.
That's a big step that a lot of people don't even take, that first step.
And it was honestly a little bit out of necessity, because I was like, I need to find other ways to make money. I was just being on one income, and more people are facing this, having to get multiple streams of income and stuff like that. And so
that's this day and age, man, is like side hustles are huge. The entrepreneurship is bigger than it ever has been for people, especially with social media.
Yep. And how cool is it for us as videographers that, like, I always feel like I help out with like different volunteer organizations and stuff like that, and I'll get the photos and the videos of it, and then it's like people carrying big things, and you're like, I'm sitting there with my camera, like, click, like, I feel like I should be helping, but being able
but
to...
you are helping.
Yes, yep. And it's I have to tell myself in that moment, but being able to tell the story of what's going on and being able to tell good stories is what I'm finding is kind of, we just got back from the Work Happy Happy Hour, TJ Cowan.
Oh, man, how cool was that?
Dude, awesome.
That was so cool.
But one of
inspiring guy.
He is. And one of the things he talked about was finding your why.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, is it to show off Southern Illinois? Is it to work with small businesses? Like, what is my why? And I'm starting to figure out it's to tell good stories. And it's to tell stories that are worth telling as well, too. And there's a lot of really cool stories with small businesses down here.
For sure.
I was just with Amy Mills last week at 17th Street, and to see the history of barbecue in Murfreesboro. Murfreesboro is their state legislature that makes Murfreesboro the capital of Illinois for barbecue. Mm. And it's like, I had no idea.
Super cool. The Mills legacy is incredible. Mike Mills, what Amy did with her book, Peace, Love, Barbecue, incredible. And then their expansion into other restaurants too. incredible success story for Southern Illinois.
Great stories.
Amazing. And now with Faye, her new
Yep.
cafe and the factory, and it goes on and on with her. She's prolific.
Oh yeah, and she's got an incredible team over there as well too. This podcast isn't about her.
We're going on, but we have amazing people in this
That's
area.
Just one example,
right?
Yeah.
There are amazing people and amazing stories.
Yep.
That
you talk about Marion Connects and what they're doing, and just the stories within the people in there.
Sure.
Is awesome.
Well, getting back to that volunteer, because having a camera in your hand is helping. It is, it's a skill. Not everybody can do that. You know, and having a camera, is nice because you get access, right?
So many doors.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Well, so I went to one of the Work Happy Happy Hour events, and that's where I met Michael and Alicia Carruthers. And, like I said, I got to...
Awesome individuals and couple. Shout out to those two.
Incredible. Yeah. Big fan.
Big fan
of those two, man.
Yeah.
They do so much in this community, and
so awesome.
Just me personally, just an encouragement in my life, and it's very cool. But
love to hear that.
So Marion Connects is one of those stories that I've been watching over like the last year, and I'm like, man, it would be so cool to kind of tell that story. And so as soon as I met them, they're like, hey, yeah, you do video as well too, and if you are interested in this, then yeah, by all means, bring your camera and come and help tell. And so that's been really fun to be able to tell that. I mean, you were... I don't want to give this. Hopefully, kids cover your ears. But Luke was Robin.
Oh boy, was that what?
Yep.
Oh boy,
Tom Harness, Bruce Wayne.
I'll never admit to that.
Yes, yeah. Sorry,
it wasn't me.
It's public now. But anyways, dude, and you've seen the entire group of people in that.
Man, yeah.
That's a cool story, man. That is a story we're telling. But yeah,
for sure.
I do some stuff with Marion Connects. And you were talking about doors that have opened as a result of that as well too.
Yeah.
I have actually. I didn't plan on telling this story, but this is one of my favorite stories in Southern Illinois, and I'm going to give some credit to Shawnee Bluffs Canopy Tours, the ziplining place. Mark, that owns the place over there. I called him. This was a couple of years ago. And I said, hey, man, I'm doing a highlight video of Southern Illinois. I don't have any zip lining footage, and that would be really cool for a highlight video of Southern Illinois.
Totally.
I think it's one of the coolest things that we offer down here. And that was before I even saw it. But anyways, he was like, yeah, we got a group tomorrow at 9:30.
Shout out to the shirt, too, right?
Yes, oh, yeah, and I am wearing – he gave me the shirt.
Nice.
This will paint a picture of just how amazing this man is. But the experience, it was awesome. So anyways – it's like noon on a Tuesday, and he's like, I got a group tomorrow, 9:30 in the morning. You can come out and video them, bring the drone, whatever you want to do. I was like, awesome. He calls me 30 minutes later. He's like, actually, there's a group that leaves at 5:30 today, and it doesn't get dark till 7:30, and I have a Sasquatch outfit. He goes, do you want to get some video of me ziplining in a Sasquatch outfit?
Oh, my gosh.
No, mind you, he's in his like 60s, 70s.
Wow.
And I didn't know this. I had only talked to him on the phone, and I showed up, and that dude could run circles around me. But he did, man. He got dressed up in the Sasquatch outfit. We got some video of it. And then he ended up, he took me to Wiffle Boys Pizza afterwards, and we just sat there talking. And like that has been pretty... it hasn't been that romantic and epic of a story, but it's a pretty decent picture of what my experience has been in Southern Illinois of like, hey, this is cool. I see what you're doing in Southern Illinois. I see the way that you're elevating what's already happening here. I'd love to come and show that off. And people have been so receptive to that it's just, they see the value in what I'm doing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, man, like I just see so many people doing so many cool things in Southern Illinois that people have no idea about. People complain all the time down here that nobody has any idea how awesome Southern Illinois is or what they're doing, and they're not getting enough, and they're not showing it off. And so many businesses now have to take social media marketing themselves and take that into their hands. And so to be able to help small businesses, to be able to help cool organizations down in Southern Illinois, it's It's awesome, man. There's a great community down here. There's a great community in Marion where we are right now. But even outside of that, man, there's so many organizations. Arrowleaf is another one that I will sing their praises all day. They've got, I think it's in Vienna, Illinois. They've got this place called Cliff Cafe. And they use people from their programs. They give them a job while they're there. And they're learning real life skills and getting back out into the world and stuff like that. But I know there's a guy that does like kayak trips on Sundays for guys that are going through sobriety and stuff like that. And there's incredible organizations down here that I'm like, I want to tell all of their stories, man. I want people to know just how cool that is, so that people know that that's possible.
Sure.
And it's made up of people who make a lot of sacrifices. And so when you see the behind the scenes and stuff like that, you do see that it's impossible. You see that it takes a lot of work, but you see that it's possible. And there are a lot of people that are doing what most people would consider impossible. Like what Marion Connects is doing downtown in the city of Marion in those efforts is in some cities they would be like, oh, it would be impossible to get some of the stuff going on downtown that they're doing, and they're doing it. And we are the lucky ones that get to tell those stories. I feel like I'm rambling at this point, man, but it's cool.
You're right.
It's
no,
cool.
Impossible is nothing. That's a Muhammad Ali quote. Fantastic quote.
Yeah.
It's it's a word. It's a made-up word by a little man who never had a chance to dream or reach for something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Muhammad Ali. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. But,
I love it.
It's that confidence. It's, it really is, especially in today in America. The sky is the limit. Anything is possible.
It is. Yep.
It really is. And I think it's awesome that how receptive people have been to wanting to share their stories, to see that there's a huge value there in that storytelling. And people want to know your story. Yeah. People want to connect. They don't want just, some corporate entity just kind of, it's just not personable.
Yep.
Right? They want to connect. And a shout out to Arrowleaf too, because amazing organization I found out about recently too.
Yes, dude. Oh yeah. Yeah. But yeah, you were just hitting on something, man. I think, being able to tell these organizations stories, a lot of people are good at what they do, but they're not good at marketing.
It's a specific niche skill set, really.
It is, man. And some people do, especially the volunteer stuff, they don't necessarily even want their story to be told. And sometimes those are the stories that need to be told even more so.
Sure.
And those are the people who I want, the people who don't want theirs necessarily, like, who aren't in it for the fame. They're in it for helping people. They're in it for doing the right thing. Yeah. And it's like, I'll clear my schedule for somebody who will clear their schedule for other people's needs and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's so rewarding, man. Like, and that's what's kind of cool with video is you get to a point and you can kind of pick who you want to partner with, who you want to brand with as you become a better storyteller and stuff like that. It's you start a brand too. So Ill Cinema has become very much a brand.
Oh, sure.
And it's kind of crazy to see the way that the brand has evolved. Like it
evolved, man. That's so cool.
And what's so wild is I'm not a hiker, and I didn't start out as a hiker, and
that interesting.
And I will say that there has been times where I have gotten video from the parking lot and just sending it up.
Hey, man, that's the luxury of having a drone. You don't have to hike in. You just fly in, man.
I just go straight up from the parking lot.
Technology has its benefits, folks.
It does. I prefer to hike. I do prefer to hike, but there's been some times where I'm fighting against sunset, and I'm like, I got to get this shot.
Timing is essential. Those shots.
Oh yeah.
Timing's everything.
Golden hour, blue hour, like those are real things.
Mm-hmm.
So, we could do a whole podcast episode on just how important lighting is, and I had no idea. And now, like, using lighting to my benefit is changed the game.
Yeah, that's I had some really great mentors in my video career as well. And early on, that was a huge comment was lighting. What separates an amateur from a professional is lighting. And then the other, I used to work for this guy in Denver, Colorado. He, Lamar Griffin Films, shout out to Lamar, really great guy. And he's like, look, you know what you need to do to separate your video, man? He's like, the number one thing that's going to make your video amateur is shaky footage. It's like shaky footage, automatic amateur.
Yep.
Professional's not going to have shaky footage.
Yep.
So I immediately got a gimbal and took her off running, man. That was a huge piece of kit that really changed, elevated the quality productions that I was doing at that time. It was probably about 2017.
I will say, I feel like the drone made me look like a much better videographer than I was in the beginning.
The drone is so cool.
It is. And
that's the thing with the drone.
The gimbal that's built into it, I mean, that's the bread.
Smooth footage. Anybody that doesn't know what a gimbal is, it's like stabilizer.
Yeah.
That drone gimbal is just
have you seen those?
Smooth.
There's a video of a guy like holding a gimbal and then he like holds a chicken and does the same thing, and a chicken's head works like a gimbal.
Oh my
like
gosh.
You can move the chicken's body.
Hey man.
And it says that's what a gimbal does.
They say nature has great design.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right. Inspired.
Right.
Inspired work.
But the drone is so cool, man. You can get shots that obviously weren't possible without getting a helicopter. I mean, good grief.
Something that I just found out recently, and I just posted on it on my page, is the Superman statue in Metropolis. If you go up on top of it and look straight down, it's actually, the concrete is formed in the form of a Superman symbol. And I had a lot of people from Metropolis that were like, I had no idea. So it certainly offers a unique perspective that people aren't used to seeing. And there's some cool things.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, that some designers and architects that you find, you know, when I was working for a roofing company, I found on top of the chimney, or the brick chimney, was signature from the guy who had built the house. Well, he had since passed away, and his wife was living there, and I showed her that, and she just started crying. You know, it meant a lot to her to see his handwriting and see that.
Wow, all from the drone.
Dude, you have no idea. You have no idea what kind of stuff and you can get into. I just have my drone out all the time.
So for you, it was the drone. The drone was really that next big leap in your videos creation.
1,000,000%. And it honestly, it was like really towards the beginning of my video creation.
So yeah, let's go back. So COVID, we started picking up. When did it start picking up more? When did solo cinema actually begin?
That's a great question. I remember very early on posting some videos and getting really stoked about like 500 views and stuff like that, and being like, dude, you know, thinking about how many people 500 is, like, was mind-blowing to me. And so
that's a lot of people.
It was. And that was back in 2020. I would say, you know, within the first year, it was maybe 1,000, couple thousand followers. And then here lately, I don't know what's going on with the algorithm. And I will say this, you know, if somebody tells me they're a social media expert, I ask a lot of questions, because I've been doing social media. I would argue decently successfully. I still have no idea what I'm doing half the time. I know how to make better videos, and I feel like the algorithm will definitely lean towards, like, if people are watching all the way through your video, they're more likely to, the algorithm's more likely to get it out in front of people and stuff like that, rather than if they click off in the first 3 seconds, you know, or something. So
sure, there's little tricks and tips.
Yes.
To getting content more out there, for sure.
Yep. And that's, a lot of that has been like Mr. Beast videos, where I watch him doing like interviews and podcasts, and he lays out, for those who don't know who Mr. Beast is, he's like the biggest YouTuber out there.
Yeah, of all time, really.
But he credits his success and his quick success to surrounding himself with other video creators. And so when they made mistakes, they learned at the speed of 7 people making a mistake a year rather than 1 person making a mistake. And so they shortcutted a lot of that. So then you can watch those guys who spent 7 years, you know, or however long building this up. It's more than 7 years, but building this up, and then them giving you the tips and tricks to how they do videos. And so I just started taking those interviews seriously. Like you're sitting at a conference and you're wanting to get information. I started treating YouTube videos like that, like they were educational seminars, and really applying them when going out and doing video. So
That's cool, man. No,
yeah.
I mean, Mr. Beast is a genius.
He is.
And yeah, I've seen some of those podcasts too, and just so many amazing tidbits and wisdom from such a young man.
Yep. And there's another guy, Logan Paul's producer, whoever does his video editing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I can't think.
His name, I know him. He's the editor. You mean?
Yes, he's got he's got a video series. And
gosh, it is Hayden.
Hayden, yes, yeah. Hayden Edwards.
It's Hayden.
No.
I don't know the last name. I know it's Hayden.
It is Hayden. Anyways,
he's good,
dude. His videos are very like nuts and bolts of like showing you behind, and he'll bring on other world famous video editors and stuff like that. And you start treating those videos, you know, like seminars. Like back in the day, you know, before internet and stuff like that, if you wanted to see these people speaking, you would have to pay thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to go see the top people in these industries talk. And now we have free videos that we can watch where they're giving advice and giving free stuff. And I just think so many people are like, I don't know what to do. And I was that person, you know, I don't know what to do. I don't know. And it's like, find what you like and treat that. Somebody told me early on in my life, I was doing like a direct sales kind of side hustle thing in supplements, and the guy said, if you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business.
It's good advice.
It was great advice. And so that's what like I considered with videography. Like if I just treat this like a hobby, and so many people pick up a drone and treat it like a hobby. Not everybody picks up a drone and gets into it like
I'd say most people don't. It's kind of risky.
Yes.
It's kind of challenging. You could crash one and destroy it and be heartbroken. I've done it. I'm sure you have too.
Get the warranty. That's all I will say is get that warranty. That's good advice. I've used it multiple times.
That's good advice. Seriously.
It really is. And I will say I've gotten my drones. This isn't a plug for Amazon, but I've gotten most of my drones through Amazon, and the warranty that they had through that, never questioned. I mean, every wreck was completely my fault. And one of the times I even left the drone on the back of my truck, drove it onto DeYoung Street into 3-lane traffic, got ran over, and I called them and I'm like, can you guys, is this covered in the warranty? They're like, yeah, just send it to us. If we can't fix it, then we'll just send you the money for a new one, essentially.
Dang, that's what's up.
Dude, it was awesome. And I was like, you are not repairing this. It was in the case, and the case was like squished. So I was like, yeah, this thing is basically disintegrated at this point.
Right.
So
and a lot of people wouldn't buy another one after that.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't take it to that professional pursuit.
Yep.
Or past that hobby level. So that's a big step.
Yeah.
Getting from, doing the stuff on the side for fun and then transitioning into, I'm going to take this as a professional. So you had it sounds like a mentor of some sorts, or someone that you heard give you that advice. And was that a mindset shift for you? Or when did that, or
I kind of decided that before I bought my first drone. So I got to play with a drone from work beforehand, but I remember how I felt at Garden of the Gods with my drone all by myself out there and how that felt. And I'm like, dude, if I could find a way to make money doing this, showing off just how beautiful Southern Illinois is. Like, I'm here because I want to be closer to my daughter. So, like, how can I make the best? What can I find that I love down here? And it was hiking, getting out in nature, getting out in the woods. Like, I was more active, but then I was also just constantly in awe of just how beautiful it is down here. I mean,
That's cool, man.
For the couple weeks ago, I went with Grant Twiss. He's a astrophotographer, outdoor photographer down here. Does incredible work. But he showed me in the Garden of the Gods parking lot, there is a trail, kind of like where the parking lot kind of meets. There's a trail that goes off, and it's called like the Starry Night Rock. There's also, I think, Anvil Rock, and there's like a little cave thing over there as well too. And I had never been there before, but I'd been to Garden of the Gods so many times, and so there's so many like hidden gems as well too around here that it's enough to keep you busy. And I argue that all the time. People are like, oh, it's a weekend destination spot. I'm like, dude, you could spend a month here and still not see everything that's in the Shawnee National Forest. And I mean, after a good rain, there's waterfalls everywhere.
That's so cool.
The Shawnee National Forest page, if you go on their top links, they've got
We can pull it up right now.
Yeah,
We can pull up some of your videos too, because I want to show some of that moment of that, what you're talking about, this inspiring beauty, man. Let's look at some
gorgeous.
stuff.
Oh
man.
my gosh, dude!
We go to Facebook, or
this is awesome. Yep. So Facebook.
Okay, let me see if I can log in. Please let me log in. Don't make me go to the other browser. Come on. Oh my gosh, give me one sec, bro. I gotta change browsers, I think. Come on, yo. Go. Don't lose your train of thought there, man.
But
Oh my gosh.
Shawnee National Forest, on their page, they have a map that they've put. I don't know who's created. I think it's a couple of people, and I want them to get credit because this map is the most thorough legend for Southern Illinois hiking, outdoor experiences. But anyways, they have listed, I think, like 190 waterfalls in Southern Illinois. Now,
what is it called? The
Shawnee National Forest page. So it's their page. Let's see here.
Right here?
Groups. Down under groups is the first one.
So in the Shawnee National Forest.
How many followers do it have in there?
It's 108,000, bro.
It's huge.
That is giant.
I remember like a year or two ago, it was at like 60,000 or something.
It's been growing a lot.
Yes.
Here's Senator Dale Fowler.
Oh yeah. So this may be a
good segue.
This may be a good opportunity to bring this up, but because of what I was doing, Senator Fowler last year brought me on to do some video for him, just kind of here and there, and saw my work, has seen my stuff through So Ill Cinema, and in January actually brought me on to his staff to do more tourism videos. So stuff like this is part of our Waterfall Wednesday that we're doing. So last week we actually changed it to be Waterway Wednesday, because I do have a lot of waterfall footage, but we wanted to switch it up and be able to involve the rivers and the lakes and stuff like that too. So we did Waterway. We actually did a video on Cave and Rock last week that has like 235,000 views.
Oh wow, can we pull that up?
Yeah, so that's on Senator's page.
Okay, let's go to this page.
Yep. But yeah, so we have, if you go back about a week, right there, yep. So yeah, that thing's got like 235,000 views. It's an old pirate cave. Cave and Rock was an old pirate cave, but it's a great place. You can walk right down to it and get inside. I don't know where the river's at right now, but
that's so cool, man.
He asked me because that's the best performing video that we have so far, and I was like, well, we used some trendy music. We had a good hook of like an old pirate cave in Illinois, and you got to find a way to ride that line of being, not being too cheesy, but also like engaging people and showing them. And so when you can combine truth with a good hook, there's some really cool history around the pirates in that cave, and it's awesome.
Totally. So for anybody that's listening, they got the drone shot. There's a cave on the river, the pontoon boats going by, just kind of a beautiful sunny day.
That pontoon boat too, those people don't know that they were being videoed, but they were out there in front, and I just got on the other side. Yeah, but it's so far away you can't even tell who they are, know, and stuff. So I assumed I've posted that video in probably multiple different videos that I've done, and nobody's come after us yet. But if anything, we made them famous, and we'd love to give them credit.
Heck yeah.
And also a boat ride on the river sometime.
Absolutely.
I would be cool with that.
That'd be really cool. So you've been doing these videos, doing these drone shots, man, for the Senator. So that's awesome.
So for instance, that video right there was actually a video that I had done over a year ago before I worked for Senator. So I came with him with a library full of Southern Illinois stuff already. Now, we stay really busy with a lot of the events he's doing and stuff like that, but I still get opportunities to get out, get some video throughout the week. There's been some times after like good rains where we've been able to go out and get some good waterfall shots and stuff like that. But it's from what I was doing before to what I'm doing now with him, and then getting to work with, small businesses outside of what I do with him. I'm in my wheelhouse. It's a dream, man. And I'm very, very, very blessed, man. Very blessed for this opportunity and being able to work with people who care about Southern Illinois and want to show it off just as much as I do, man. It's a blessing to have so many people with the same mindset of just wanting to elevate this area. And there's so much to show off and want to elevate about this area. So.
Totally, man. So do you have a video on your page we can look at?
Yeah.
Can we pull up?
Yeah. Go to Soil Cinema.
Let's pull up Soul Cinema.
I was just talking to Tom Harness tonight at the Work
Shout
Happy
out Tom.
Hour. Yep. And
There it is.
he was just mentioning that I'm starting to show my face a little bit more in videos, which I didn't think people wanted to see my face. And then there's a video I did at Inspiration Point where it's on my face and then it goes out, and it got 126,000 views. And I'm like, okay, maybe they don't mind seeing my face from time to time, but I think even that, you kind of got to ride a line. So
sure.
This right here, that video is also from Senator's page, and this is a cool little fun fact, and we do Fun Fact Fridays on Senator's page as well too. But Memorial Day, which was just what's today, Wednesday,
Monday.
2 days ago,
Yeah.
So it was just 2 days ago. It actually originated in Murfreesboro, Illinois. I had no idea.
Wow.
And so last week, whenever I was visiting 17th Street, she was like, go check out the John A. Logan Museum. And I told the lady at the John A. Logan Museum, I'm like, oh, we do Fun Fact Friday. She's like, well, it's an interesting time.
There you go.
So it just kind of worked out.
That's perfect.
Yep. Got some video there.
Yeah, John A. Logan, integral to the history of this region, no doubt.
Very much
so, yes.
Great history there. But
Yeah.
okay, so if you keep scrolling down, that was another Senator one. I'll show you one that's kind of more. And we started a podcast too.
Okay. Here we go.
Yep.
So you've started a podcast. Can we talk about this podcast?
Yeah, we can talk about this podcast. So this is a recent one that we just started.
These emails from older folks who either don't live here.
So this is Hiking with Sean.
This is Hiking with Sean. So he was our first guest. So my co-host on this is Allison Hasler, who you're familiar with. She did the Small Town Big Business. And wanted to focus more on the Airbnb, the Southern Illinois vacation rentals that she runs, and more on the tourism side of stuff, and really just everything around the business, and trying to draw more towards that and more towards tourism down here as far as travel and Airbnb stays and stuff like that, adventure. She's doing her own videos, hiking anyways. It just made sense because when people are watching my videos, I'm assuming they're like, that's awesome, I want to come down there and visit. So they're going to need a place to stay. And because she had podcast experience, because we work a ton together with my drone videography and the places, she was integral. There was a period of time where I was living in central Illinois, but I was coming down here for different projects and stuff like that. And I would trade out content for stays and stuff like that. And so I've got a pretty good library of her Airbnbs. There's actually a couple that I haven't even had a chance to do video of yet. But the way that they run their Airbnbs, there's a lot of attention to detail. There's, she doesn't let just anybody be part of that. And so I knew the way she was running her brand, and I knew what So Il Cinema was, and I felt very comfortable bringing those brands together because I know she's killing it in the Airbnb world right now. And so anyways, again, another one of those people that had a vision to show off Southern Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
And just saw the opportunity. Hiking with Sean. Sean Gossman has become a dear friend of mine over time. I've said multiple times, I don't know if there would be a So Il Cinema if there wasn't a Hiking with Sean. So
how cool to have Sean, who inspired you in the area, and now it's kind of like a full circle moment to have him come on your podcast and talk, and then have Allison Hasler with Southern Illinois Vacation Rentals as a co-host, even though she did leave the Small Town Big Business. We miss you, Allison, but
Deb and Jen are doing an amazing job.
Oh,
and
yes.
Russ is
That's
just
so true.
I mean, he's a staple. He
He
is.
So we miss you, but super cool.
Yes, yes.
To see you're still in the podcast game.
Still showing off Southern Illinois, just showing off a different facet. And,
Absolutely.
And man, it's cool. And that's what's cool is there's so many different things to show off in Southern Illinois that you could do a 1,000 different podcasts of just there's rock climbing, there's and there's a whole. I went out to Fern Cliff a couple months ago. And there were some people from Michigan that were like, yeah, we heard about the climbing at Fern Cliff and we wanted to come down here and try it out. And it's like, there are people from Illinois that don't know about the climbing in Southern Illinois, but there's people from other states that are hearing about this. And it's as a marketing person, it makes you wonder, like, okay, how are we reaching here, but we're not reaching here, and it makes the gears turn in my head of how can we reach different areas, because as much as it is showing off Southern Illinois, it's for people in Southern Illinois to see what we have, but it's more so for showing people outside of Southern Illinois the opportunity here for adventure, to come and stay, to come and bring, with
oh yeah, we want that outside money.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. And
we need it big time.
We need it
hugely.
And I think tourism is one of the biggest opportunities we have going forward.
There's no question, man.
And I think
all the stats say that. Everything I'm hearing, you talked about Deb Barnett on the Small Atomic Business.
Yes.
She brings the stats,
Dude.
and that's what it is.
And SI
it's going to be a big thing coming up in the next 15 years.
Yep. And I've got to see SI Now in action. And the way that they bring opportunities to businesses in this area, the way that they're bringing tourism to this area is awesome. Like I said, there are
shout out to Nick Holden,
yes,
Housen as well.
I just saw him today.
Nick.
I just saw
great
him today.
guy.
He brought the SI Now magazines over to our office today, and he's got the slingshots that he's doing. Oh yeah,
so slingshots, so cool.
So ill slingshots.
I need
That's
to
right.
rent one.
Yes,
I've been dying to, man.
Hey,
they look super cool.
I'd say we show him this video and try to.
There we go. Okay, Nick.
We know some guys that do video.
Yeah, so, little drone shot in there, little gimbal going, little GoPro.
Hey,
hello.
We've got the tools. We've got the tools. If he's got the time, we've got the tools.
Hey man, I'm down. No, he's a great guy.
He is.
Man, there's just so many awesome people, awesome programs. I think it's a real, just testament that what can happen. I heard, and then shout out Jennifer Olson, the other co-host of Small Time Business.
Dude.
She has a quote that says, "It feels like for the first time in her life that she can remember, everyone is in Southern Illinois is moving in the same direction. It's like finally they're not like trying to work against each other, but there's enough people that are that get it, and that are doing the things that really need to be done in order for us to thrive, us to be successful, and to keep growing and transforming lives and just making a good life for people here.
Absolutely.
There's a visitor or a liver or someone passing through.
Yeah, man, and talking about Jennifer and talking about the city of Marion, Cody as well too, man.
Yeah.
And seeing them in action on the Marion Connect side.
I
was just talking about this tonight, and there's times where stuff comes into towns and the cities, and the cities create obstacles rather than opportunities, and that's not the case in Marion. They're creating opportunities, and like I've sat at the Marion Connect meetings,
that's a good way to put it.
And I've seen these big ideas come out, and Cody was sitting in that meeting, and he's just like, I think we can make it work, and it's just like the gears are turning. But you have even on like the city side, you have a group of people who are like, yeah, we want to see families coming to downtown Marion. We want to see businesses thriving, and we will help create opportunities and facilitate that, and it's to see the city working with these groups and working with businesses and stuff like that. Marion is putting on a clinic right now, and I wish more towns paid attention to just some of the awesome stuff that they're doing, the way that they're revamping the downtown right now, what Ethos is doing, man. Yeah. I am just such a huge fan of what Ethos is doing and what they're about of bringing people together. And
man. Big shout out to Ethos. Well, Union Street Arts probably wouldn't exist without Ethos having those small business resources available. Yes. Where do you go? Where do you start? What resources are out there? How do you learn? Well, Ethos
Yes.
perfect
They're
for anybody starting, and
Yep.
anybody really.
Yep. And they're doing educational, seminars and stuff like that. They had the free happy hour that we just left tonight.
Absolutely, such
over
a
at
cool event.
Celebrations.
Oh,
Yes.
shout out Joe Chindusky.
Yep.
Finally learned how to say his name tonight after being called out.
He called you out tonight.
Hey, I said,
that's a tough name. That's a tough name.
I'll
it
give
is.
You and we had Joe on that podcast before, and it was part of that show too. It was mispronounced, so it was kind of an ongoing theme.
Oh yeah.
But we like to have
it's
just
a term of endearment.
have fun.
Yeah, it's a term of endearment.
Yeah, but no, man, I appreciate what you said there, man, because I think you're right. I think people do want to see each other succeed seriously here, and I think some people are noticing or have taken notice what's been going on in Marion. And I think I've seen it being replicated, which is great.
It's awesome.
I think
what a compliment to what they're doing. The greatest
sure.
form of what is it? The greatest
imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
That's right. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's true. I mean, if it works, it works, man.
And that's one of the things they talked about in the first Marion Connects meeting I went to. Is they're like, if other towns want to adopt this, like we would love to help consult, and stuff like that. And that is the heartbeat of those people, man. John Lee and Amber that run Celebrations, that do the Work Happy Hour. Like they open that place up for free. You know what I mean? It's just what they're doing for Marion.
Oh my
gosh,
too. What John does for veterans, and just oh my gosh, so much.
It's amazing.
And now shout out to their upcoming comedy show that we're gonna hopefully go to. Go see some stand up. So super great venue.
Yes,
beautiful.
Awesome.
It's just that synergy, that sort of circulates around. That's sort of just where those like magic moments happen.
It is.
Man. It's just like you get in that room, you can rub the right shoulders and just kind of things just organically build. And that's just, it's so cool to be a part of and see.
Yeah.
And I just love that growth that I've seen happen here. And we're not done, man.
We're not. And I think, even something like this right now, like you and I are both videographers, we're both content creators. And the fact that this is a testament to what's happening in Southern Illinois is in areas where people would look at each other as competition. It's like, dude, I see what you're doing. And I want your help because I see what you're doing. Not only do I want your help, I want to help you with what you're doing as well too, because your end goal is showing off these businesses in Southern Illinois, showing off Southern Illinois. You and I, in a short amount of time since I've moved back, have been in a lot of the same events, been in a lot of the same rooms and stuff like that. And so that's been my thing is I try to go where I feel like people are getting help, things like that, like stuff that matters is happening. And I pay attention to the people that are in the room, and I'm like, okay, these are the kind of people that I want to surround myself with, people who are already doing the kind of things that I'm doing, who have already been there. Dude, this studio is unreal. And I know I told you that to your face, but I want to say it on camera as well, too. The amount of opportunity you have for this space to do commercial work, to do podcasting, to do anything is such a resource in Marion, man. And Marion is such a good spot for that as well, too, because, it's a hub. It's a good central spot for places like Harrisburg, where I live, or Carbondale, or Anna, or it's a right off of the interstate. So the fact that you have this here, that you open it up as well, too, and let people use this space and do video work for them, dude, is awesome. Mine's
Thanks,
always
man.
Yes,
that's
dude.
Awesome.
No, it is.
I appreciate that, bro.
This is, as a videographer, I understand what it takes to get to this point. I do and I don't. I have no idea what it takes to get to this point. I have an idea, and I know it's not easy,
No.
and I know it takes time, to do that. And that's one thing that I have to remind myself constantly is I've got 3-4 years in this, and there are people around me who have got 10, 20, 30 years. I've worked on set, and I say this loosely, I've worked on set with Guerrilla Films where I've changed batteries and SD cards, and they're like, go get this. And at first I was like, all right, what is that? And they're like, okay, it looks like this. And so I realized maybe on set, I'm more valuable now than I was then because I've learned a thing or two. And those guys were excellent teachers as well too. But that's the thing as well too. I do video content creation, but I'd say I probably lean more on drone, and stuff like that. And I'm getting more into social media. But I want to surround myself with people who have who are experts in audio. who are experts in podcasting, who are experts in things that maybe I haven't done yet, but would like more information, would make me more valuable as a videographer as well too. And that came mostly from YouTube videos early on. And now, as I have built myself up in Southern Illinois, I feel like I've got more recognition from local videographers and stuff like that. And so I'm able to have, conversations with you where I'm growing. It's kind of like the iron sharpens iron thing where we can sit there and talk about, what we're facing. It's like what Mr. Beast, was going through with his buddies. It's like, oh man, I ran into this. And it's like, all right, cool. I'm not going to run into that because I heard this and now I'm going to prepare for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens. You gotta have a plan in wedding videography, especially if you ever have to do it by yourself, which a lot of times I've done the wedding videography by myself. But
it's not easy. It's a tough job.
It helps with tripods. You get some well-placed tripods during the ceremony.
I need those, man.
And stuff like
I need a few of those.
I will say, I wasn't planning on saying this, and I'm sorry to my cousin Kirsten, but this last weekend was the first time I missed the first kiss.
Oh no!
On my main gimbal camera. Now I have 2 tripods set up.
Sure.
So I've got a wide angle room that maybe I can crop in on, but
as long as you got one, man.
Exactly.
That's why you have a backup and a backup.
That's right.
Give as many backups for that one moment as you can.
Yeah.
But man, you mentioned a few things like surrounding yourself with the right people, right?
Huge.
Show me your 5 closest people and I'll show you your future. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. You hear that over and over. And it is true.
It is.
And I think you've been able to get into great rooms and meet great people and Ethos, these networking events. I mean, we're so lucky to have those.
Yes.
I do appreciate that, man. It's just, we are lucky. I mean, it's a very fortunate time for content creators, for creatives, for entrepreneurs, for people that just don't maybe want to fit the everyday thing that they told us. I remember when I was in senior in high school, I remember somebody's like, one of my friend's mom was like, what do you want to do? In college, what are you going to do? I was like, well, I really like doing videos. She's like, that's not a job.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That's not a job.
Yep.
And, I'm 18. I'm like, well, maybe it's not a job. What do I know?
Yep.
And, just hearing that kind of a thing, basically forever, my whole life, basically until college. And, things changed. And, look at where we are now.
Yep.
If I would have listened to that person, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Well, and that's funny that you say that. Like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I was selling insurance and I revamped my LinkedIn profile and I showed somebody my LinkedIn profile and I had videographer first and then insurance sales, underneath that. And they're like, well, maybe I'd take the video out because that's just kind of like a fun thing that you do. And, insurance is probably where you're going to make your money, and I was sitting there and it is tough when you hear people say that. It can be tough when you hear people say that, but kind of like what TJ talked about, when your why, when you're focused on your why.
Yeah. And
I knew how much I love video. I knew how much I love video in Southern Illinois. I knew how much I wanted to be in my daughter's life. And so I knew I had this almost kind of hopeless romantic, like I am going to do videography down in Southern Illinois. And I'm going to ask people for opportunities. I ask Airbnbs. I ask, the zip lining, hey, can I come and video and stuff like that? But all of those were typically, if I'm asking you, if I'm coming like, hey, can I get video of your place? I'm tending to do that for free, and I've got a good library of Southern Illinois content.
That's cool, man.
As a result
That's really
of that.
Cool.
But
it's great to have that archive.
It is, man. But it's I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that.
Sorry, man.
No. I was losing it before you said that. Okay. I was hoping it would come back to me, but no, man. It's cool to be able to I don't know, to do what you love, and I have gotten very, very blessed. Understanding your why, and I've TJ kind of talked about it tonight, and I've always heard people say if your why is bigger than your what, then your how will take care of itself. And so why you're doing, when that is so big, it doesn't matter what it is, how you get it done is going to take care of itself when the why is big enough. If it's not getting done, or if you're finding that you're having trouble getting motivation, maybe the why is not as big as you think it is. and maybe the why is different, and the why has kind of changed over time for me. The
Sure.
why in the beginning was to just show off how cool Southern Illinois was. Then it was, okay, I can make a business, I can make a living, I could provide for my family. There you go. There you go. Dude, I love that. I almost forgot. I love that.
But
Yes, no,
that's always good too, right?
That certainly helps.
It's a motivating factor.
But now I would say my why is telling that story, being able to tell good stories. And, I think about my legacy, and what kind of legacy I'll leave, and, good documentaries that have been told. And I don't know that I'll ever necessarily be a documentary guy. I think to tell some of the stories that I want to tell, I think I have to lean into that a little bit. And I'm getting better at storytelling. And it's fun, man. It's a fun thing to do. I started out
That's
just
cool.
straight highlight videos, find the trendiest song, find the coolest visuals, do them quick enough that it keeps people's attention, and that's what I really excelled at with So Ill Cinema. And since kind of starting with Senator, since working with volunteer organizations and stuff like that, I've had to do some more storytelling. I've had to stretch myself, but dude, it's so much fun, and there's really, like I said, and I've said it over and over again, but there's some really cool stories out there that I think deserve to get told, and it feels like a responsibility, like a burden to tell those stories and to, I don't know, do them justice. Because like I said, you see the Marion Connects, and it's like, I know how that makes me feel when I see those kids light up, and
Yeah.
to be able to capture that in video, you could take a video of it, but it's different when you slow it down.
Sure.
And you add some more dramatic music, and you do it on a drop of a song, and there's ways that we can help really tell the story. You know what I mean?
I like where you're going with that, man. Because I think actually, little fun fact, documentaries I think are cool, man.
Yeah.
I think they're super cool. I think there's a lot of room for documentaries to be told, depending on what it is, what's the subject matter. But I think that'd be awesome, man. Even just a little Marion Connects one, like.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned like the slow down footage and the editing, but even throwing in some interviews, get somebody out there with the mic and just saying, hey, Alicia, hey, John, hey, whoever.
Yep.
I think that could be cool.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that might be something to think about.
Yeah. And the thing that you know as well as I do, I wish I had 10 of me.
Oh,
so I
gosh.
could, yeah, because video editing is a time-consuming.
It takes a lot of time.
People have no idea.
It's tedious.
Let's just address the elephant in the room. People have no idea how long it takes to edit a video. And I will say I have more times than not, I feel like, spent more time on finding the song for a video than I have like editing the video. Like,
Right.
there's been times where it's taken me days to find a song that I think will fit for the video.
It's tedious, man. It can take hours and hours. I mean, there really could be no end. I mean, it's a deep, deep well of possibilities when it comes to editing and storytelling. Because really, this is the truth. This is what we were taught in film school. The story is told in the edit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
That you can get all your footage, you can get all the shots, but really, they're just shots until you put them together in the sequence. That edits the storytelling.
Yep.
So, and that's why it takes so much time, because you mentioned the storytelling is probably the most important part.
Yep.
What's that story? It takes time to get that. It's a skill too.
Yeah. And as a very unrefined videographer, I'm not good at scripting yet. And so a lot of my storytelling is, hey, tell me what this means to you, and, tell me why you do it.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. A little prompt. Yeah.
And I'll do that with 4 people. And I'm like, all right, how can I tell the story between these 4 interviews? And so, but it does. I found that I am more of a candid videographer. I like to not be seen and try to get those sweet little moments that are authentic and that are genuine.
Sure.
Rather than
Like a fly on the wall.
Yes. There's a lot of value to being able to pose people. And I hats off to the photographers that do the newborns and do the families and all of that stuff. I have found that I prefer to do like the events where you go around, and it's just like a quick a shot. Like there was and I missed this shot. Christina Inez, who was the photographer, the last Marion Connects that we had, she ended up getting a photo of this. But it was a little girl dressed as Rapunzel, and then one of the people that were brought on by Marion Connects, one of the adults wearing a Rapunzel costume, and them talking to one another. And it was just the sweetest, like most picturesque, like little moment. And I like capturing like that kind of stuff, like just something that happened naturally, that's not forced. You see true emotion in people's faces.
You know, I could see that from your background of that woods in the forest too, just kind of that natural
shoot from the hip, baby.
That natural feel.
Yep.
I could see that. That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool, man. I do want to like actually show a video though.
Oh yeah,
Can we pull that? Can we get to? I know we did the podcast, but can we look at a video?
Yes.
Should I go to your videos? Is that good?
Yeah, or reels. Reels.
Reels. Okay, let's go to reels.
And so the last couple ones have been the fifth one back. That one was actually a lot of fun. Yeah, and I made most of that in one day with my buddy Dylan. You see him on the back left here.
Okay, dude, nice. Camel Rock.
That's him right there too. So where you
Inspiration Point,
yeah.
Cave and Rock.
Yeah. So that's actually one of my buddy's girlfriends. There's 3 more people in that video, but when you go horizontal, vertical,
dude, heck yeah, I love this video.
Cut people out.
I'll say this, man. I know you mentioned putting the face in there.
Yeah.
I think it's good, man. I think you should.
Thank you.
I'll tell you also why. And this is something especially when it comes to landscape photography, videography, just having a person in there gives it the scale.
Yes.
So,
perspective. Yes.
Exactly, man. So, if it's a huge expanse and there's a tiny, tiny thing and it disappears because the expanse is so large, it's like, what?
That's a great point. Like
that human scale.
Yes. And that even the Cave and Rock shot where we're sitting right there, it shows how big the hole is on Cave and Rock when you can see the person sitting
there
on the ledge right there.
Yeah. So that's cool, man.
Yeah,
so drone shots, nature, having fun, come visit Southern Illinois. I think this pretty much encapsulates a lot of it, right?
That sums up what I do. That's pretty much it. Hanging out with friends, going on hikes. And honestly, a lot of my hikes have been solo, but now, being down here, I try to take advantage. It's actually great going out with other content creators because I don't always have the opportunity to have the camera facing back at me to talk to people about what we're seeing or what we're doing. And there's just so much more content you can create when you have somebody who has camera skills as well too. So I get photos, videos. I went out with Wild Rose Studio, and we hit 3 or 4 different parks where we got photos of one another, and I still am trickling those photos out. I think one of them is maybe even my profile photo right now.
Cool, man.
But that's the benefit of going out with other content creators is they have that creative eye. And then you go to Garden of the Gods time and time again, there are still people who will post on that Shawnee National Forest page and I'm like, I've never seen it from that angle, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And I want to recreate that.
I'm going back right now.
Yeah. I told John O'Connell has a photo of his daughter at Cave and Rock where he's in the back of the cave. There's water and you can see her reflection in the water and you can see her standing up. Dude. And it's incredible. And I told him I am recreating that photo with my daughter at some point.
Sick,
but
man.
He's another one. John O'Connell lives in Florida now, but he is a fantastic photographer. And I miss that dude immensely, but I will never forget. He's one of the first, I would say, well-renowned photographers that I knew of on social media that made a comment on one of my posts that I was like, hey, maybe I do know what I'm doing a little bit. And he said, great framing or something like that on one of my shots.
Nice.
What is framing? I'm like, I gotta go look this up, dude.
Oh my God.
It was like an iPhone shot or something like that. But man, it goes to show just how powerful that little compliment from a dude of his stature. I've seen some of his photos and stuff like that. And when a dude who can make photos like that looks at my stuff and says, hey man, that's great framing. For me, that built so much self-confidence. I'm aware of that as I build a social media brand, that if I see, and I don't want to be disingenuous, if I see something that I'm like, that's cool, I will comment on it and be like, this is awesome. This is awesome representation of Southern Illinois. One person, since you're giving me the opportunity and putting cameras on me, that I would love to shout out is a girl, Natalie Rotramel. I don't know if you've ever heard of her.
I'm not sure.
Dude, then you're gonna love this. And anybody watching this, please go check out her stuff. She will pick up leaves on her hikes, and she paints. She's a painter, and she will paint the scenery, and she'll hold up the leaf, and she'll take a photo of it, and it, like, some of them blend in so well that it, like, you almost have to adjust your eyes to see that, like, okay, that's not just one photo and this lady holding up her hand. There's a leaf there that she painted.
Wow.
She's done it with snake skins. The coolest thing I think she does is she'll pick up trash on the trail,
Really?
and she'll paint that into it, and then she'll sell that as like a piece of art. And
Dude, that's
she's
so cool.
She's literally like taking trash and
I
making
need to have her on this podcast.
You should. Everybody in Southern
Maybe
Illinois
you could
should
connect
have her.
us, man.
Hey, honestly, I have not even met her, and
Okay.
I bring her up in so many circles.
All right, I
because
gotta get that connected, man.
It's so unique what she's doing, man.
That sounds really cool.
It's so cool, and that's the thing. Like, you could do a deep dive on just people doing awesome stuff in Southern Illinois, and you'll continue to find more
Oh
and
man,
more
it's a
people
deep, it's endless.
Yeah, and how creative they get too about how they're showing off Southern Illinois, showing off their skills and stuff like that. Like, she could paint canvases or do anything, but the fact that she took something that I love, like hiking, and took, people, you hate to see trash on the trails and stuff like that. And not only is she doing something about that, she's making it into an art, and it's just like, freaking my hat's off to you, man.
That's cool.
It's unique. It's definitely worth checking out. So Natalie Rotramel art, I think, is what her thing is.
Do you know where she's out of?
I don't. I know that she's been in like some Carbondale, like vendor fairs and stuff like that. So
cool.
I have not got to meet her yet, but it's happening. I've reached out
Put
to
it
her.
out there, man.
Yeah, I've reached out to her, and we've plans kind of fell through on my end and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the plan is still to
go.
hang out. Things got
go.
busy, but we got time.
Hey man, speaking of that, and speaking of creating content with other creators, collaborators,
Yes.
we need to do something, man. I'm
Let's do
feeling
it.
inspired right
Let's
now,
do it.
bro. We're having a great conversation.
Let's go for a hike. Me and Tom
Dude.
Harness were talking about doing bro hikes, and not to leave out the ladies.
Sure.
But there is some
There's time for that.
There's some ladies hikes out there actually. I don't know what they're called, but they're on Facebook, and you can find that group. But I think it would be cool to get
That would be cool.
a little bro hike going on.
That would be cool.
I think if you get to a certain number, there has to be permits or something. But I'll talk to hiking with Sean. We'll get it.
Hey, you know a guy?
Yeah, I do. I know a guy that leads hikes. Yeah,
I think you might
he'd be down for a
take
bro
the
hike.
lead on that one, huh?
He might be down for a bro hike.
That'd be cool, man.
Yep.
Yeah, shoot some photos, shoot some vids.
Absolutely.
That'd be sick, man.
Would love it.
That'd be really good.
Love the opportunity to work with you, man. I think you're doing incredible stuff for
thanks,
Southern
man.
Illinois, man. The podcasting that you're doing, the stuff that you're doing with Ethos at the Citadel, your wedding videos as well too, dude. I watch you from afar, man. I try to keep my thumb on like the heartbeat of marketing and just other videographers in this area and stuff like that. And it's so valuable having a relationship with somebody who also does this. So I'm so glad we met.
Hey, man, maybe we can do some stuff. Hopefully in the
We
future,
will.
man. Let's do it.
I'm confident we will.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Sounds good, man. And that's, the beauty of this podcast too is
We already are. We are right now.
we're doing it right
we are
now,
doing
dude.
it
We've
right
been doing it for a while now. Yeah, it's like, what? How about that,
That's
man?
awesome.
How about that,
I
right?
freaking love that soundboard. That is
Oh,
so cool.
there's a lot in there.
I love it.
There's a deep one, man. I want to add some more. There's some fun ones for sure.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Man, it's been a great conversation. What have I
Same.
missed, man?
Dude, I don't know, man, but I get to do.
I feel like this has gone by so fast, bro.
It has.
I've just been deep in the convo.
It has. I feel like I've been rambling, but I appreciate
man.
that I'm glad
That's
that you
the
feel like
pod-
it's gone fast because I'm like, I think I'm just going on and on here right
Hey,
now.
man, that's the podcast format, You just kind of go and, you just talk.
Yep.
You tell stories and,
And I'm
clip it
used
up
to
later.
being on your side and interviewing and asking and stuff. And so this is an awesome opportunity, man. This is my first opportunity to really talk about solo cinema and talk about how it started and the mission behind it.
Dude,
and all
I
that stuff.
love it.
I have people who think that like I'm a group of people. I'm just like, if you only knew. Like I'm in my boxers right now editing this video. Like
Just me.
this is such a lower production than what you think is going on.
Just doing his boxers.
Yeah. I'm eating
Just-
cold pizza in my boxers right now.
Just editing for hours and hours.
There's those videos. It's like the doctor you think you're texting on the weekend or something like that.
yeah.
And it's like the doctor you're actually getting, and it's just them like, I don't know. I could make a video like that.
You should.
Like me in a suit, like the videography you think you're getting, and it's me in my boxers eating cold pizza. Like,
Cold pizza, like,
This is-
oh god.
this is it, man, in all of his glory.
It ain't too glamorous behind
It's
the
not.
scenes, but
It's
you know,
not.
you do what you got to do to get the job
That's
done,
right.
man.
That's right. No matter how you look.
That's right.
So
Hey, and we appreciate the shower.
I showered.
Dude.
I got my hair cut today.
Dude.
brushed my teeth.
Appreciate it, man.
I have more deodorant. I'm not trying to brag. But
Heck yeah, man.
I don't. It's not every day for me that I get to
man.
go on a podcast. So
Dude, love that you came on, man. It's been awesome to catch up and get to know your story more because, like you said, online you just wouldn't know that.
no,
I think it's kind of a theme. You wouldn't know these stories unless literally you just got to tell them.
get out.
Tell
and
them, tell them.
Yeah, and luckily for us, we know a couple of guys that can help people tell some stories, man. And
Totally. A lot of that.
yes,
Yeah.
dude.
I'm down, man.
And there's so much space to tell stories here, dude. I love this. I think we need to get like a content creator group going or
That'd be
something
cool.
like that here. and
Definitely, man.
I'd love it.
You know, there's like the whole, like masterminds. Ethos
Yes.
has the whole masterminds,
Yep.
right? And that's a group of people come in, sometimes it's centered around a book or an idea. But I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think to specialize in content creation and maybe even videography, photography kind
Sure.
of thing,
It's
like,
more specific, niche. Yeah.
I think would be really cool. And I think there's a lot of that in this area. So
There is. And
Yeah.
there's more.
I truly believe that iron sharpens iron, man. You surround yourself with people who are in that world. I mean, that's what Mr. Beast did. He was around guys that were
Smart,
sharpening
man.
him, and
Yeah.
he was sharpening them, and
Right.
so
It's cool, man.
all about it, dude.
A lot of good
love this.
opportunities here, man.
I love this, man. We have to end this at some point, I assume. But
Yeah, we're trying.
batteries
We're
are gonna
trying.
run out. Even.
Hey, man,
This is a Midwest goodbye.
it's going to slowly fade like
Yep.
Homer into the back.
Yeah, I'll still have my headphones on, like with the door open. Just still.
Wait, is the mic on?
Yeah.
No, actually, I've got to get ready for another podcast
That's right. Tomorrow morning. Yep.
tomorrow morning. So unfortunately, yeah, we do have to end this recording. But man, it's been a good one.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. This is again, man, a huge opportunity.
Any last messages? Any words out there you want to leave with the people?
Man, no, I think if you find yourself, I found myself during COVID in like a pretty tough spot, and a lot of people found themselves in a really tough spot, and I think a lot of the way that your life pans out is your perspective on the situation. And when I came down to Southern Illinois, I did not have a great perspective on Southern Illinois. And I will say, again, I think watching the Hiking with Sean videos kind of piqued my interest into getting outside. But to take that first step to get outside, if I wouldn't have done that, who knows, where I would be at. But if there's opportunities out there, take them. And, if you're in a place where you find a way to use the situation to your advantage, and find ways that you can bring value to wherever you're at. And I think if you do that, man, people will eventually, and it's been years for people to catch on to the value of what I was doing. And there are some people that caught on right away, and I am forever indebted to those people. O.C. Paxton I'm glad that you gave me the last word. O.C. Paxton of Shawnee Trails Realty helped me get my drone license. She
Nice.
was one of the first ones that said, hey, I want you to do some real estate video. I'm like, I don't have my license. She's like, what does it cost? And so she pretty much paid for me to go and take my test.
Nice. That's not cheap.
It's not. It was like
No.
$175
It's
or
not
something
cheap.
like that. And I had never done a real estate video before, so she took a huge risk on having me do that. And funny story enough, I actually failed it the first time.
Oh boy. You know
And-
what? I did too the first time I took
Yes,
my drum
dude.
license test.
And I
Not gonna lie.
I missed it by one question, and I called her, and I was so embarrassed, and I called her, and I was like, I missed it, and she's like, do you know how many times I had to take my real estate test? She's like, it's not a big deal. And the place that I was working for before, they ended up paying for me to take it a second time, and
Okay.
they felt confident I was able to do that. And so I did, and got passed, and so OC Paxton saw the value there. Another lady, Tanya Lovelace, she runs cabin rentals in Southern Illinois. She's also on the Union County Chamber of Commerce. Dude, she has been one of my biggest fans from the very beginning. I feel like I'm practically adopted into her family. The way that she's kind of like brought me in with open arms, and she just kept saying like, you're going to do incredible things in Southern Illinois with what you're doing with that videography. And, you know, you surround yourself with enough people who are telling you that, and you start to believe it, and you start to be like, okay, maybe I will do. And that stuff helps, you know. And she wasn't just verbally telling me, she was giving me job opportunities. She was trying to get the Union County Chamber of Commerce to use me, and they ended up using me for like a video opportunity and stuff like that. And so not only was she like, hey, you're awesome, like she backed it up by like helping me find jobs and stuff like that. So I am forever indebted to Tanya Lovelace over there. She is a sweetheart. But yeah, man, there's so many people that I could thank as well too, man, that have just been stepping stones along this journey. And hopefully eventually I do name them all at some point, but that's a couple.
That's another deep dive.
It is, man. It is. There's so many people that have influenced my journey, man, and I'm grateful.
I'll tell you what, this, man, that's awesome. Pay it forward.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a gift, and it would, like I said, man, the way John O'Connell complimented one of my things, I knew how that felt. And so being able to, So Ill Cinema being at the place that it's at now, I think imposter syndrome is probably a big thing in the video world and stuff like that. But, you know, when I comment on somebody's thing and they're like, oh my gosh, that means so much coming from you. I'm like, dude, 2-3 years ago, I was saying the same thing to people like Hiking with Sean and John O'Connell and stuff like that. And I still would. It still does mean a lot coming from people like them.
Oh, sure.
But even the people who are just starting, who are getting into it, it's like, man, that means a lot coming from them as well too, because I know what they're going through. I know the struggles and stuff, and you just don't know, you know, people's potential and stuff like that. So it's cool, man, the people that have spoken life into me and helped me build this dream as well too, man. They're just as much a part of it as, you know, as me being there. I needed people to help me along the way.
For sure, man. No one can do it alone.
That's right.
You know, and
that's right. It's a blessing. It's a true blessing, man. And I appreciate everybody who has helped me along the way, even the unspoken ones.
That's right. That's right.
It gets nerve-wracking when you get cameras on you. You're like,
you don't want to forget anybody.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, oh gosh, I know I'm gonna forget,
Yep.
but
I love everybody.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. This has been great. I think that was, you know, I think that'll about do it.
Yeah.
You know, I think we covered.
Did we fill the
The
time?
batteries are dying.
Yes, everything's dying.
Yeah. No, so Jared Long, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
So Ill Cinema. Where do people find you online?
Yep, I'm on.
Follow your podcast.
I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I tell everybody I leaned heavily on Facebook, and I'm trying to get more onto the other ones as well too.
So Ill Cinema.
Ill Cinema, and ill is ILL. I get a lot of ILs. I get a lot of people trying to combine the words, but yep. It was a play on words. There was So Ill is like a climbing company down here, and I was just looking up if there was any So Ill Cinemas out there, and I had the name cinema well before I was a cinematic videographer. I was just like, that's like a synonym for like doing video, right? And I come to find out that cinematography is
a whole art form.
Yes, it's much different than just videography.
Yeah,
so I don't know that I've filled those shoes yet, but we're getting there with the storytelling.
Hey man, don't stop.
Like that.
Keep grinding, keep going, and hey man, sky's the limit. You know, you never know where it'll be in 5 years from now. I guarantee you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I would have never imagined myself being here, man. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
Right,
Thank you so much, man. Thanks for having me, brother.
Thanks, Jared.
Awesome.
All right.
Woo!
That's it, man.
Dude.
All right. That went quick, man. Dang, it's
How long was that?
hour 20.
Holy cow.